Welcome back to our channel where we uncover the hidden stories, secrets, and extraordinary values behind the coins that often go unnoticed in our everyday lives, and today, we're diving deep into the fascinating and almost unbelievable tale of a seemingly ordinary coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike with its unexpected value, the 1990 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin that, under very specific circumstances, has reached a jaw-dropping value of $70 million due to a remarkable combination of minting errors, historical anomalies, and collector frenzy that has made it one of the most coveted pennies in U.S. numismatic history. So whether you're a seasoned coin enthusiast or someone who's just curious about how a single cent can be worth more than a luxury mansion, buckle up and get ready for an in-depth journey into the rich and complex world of this extraordinary coin, because the 1990 penny isn't just a coin, it's a mystery, a marvel, and a money magnet all rolled into one small copper-plated zinc disc. And the story begins with understanding the environment of coin production in 1990, a year that was significant in the evolution of U.S. coin minting technologies and transitions. And while the Denver Mint had refined many of its processes, it was also grappling with modernizing its equipment and handling massive volumes of production, which in the case of pennies often meant over 6 billion coins per year, and in such high-pressure, high-speed production scenarios, errors were not only possible but almost inevitable. Yet among the vast ocean of normal 1990 cents, a few coins emerged that were unlike any other, displaying errors and characteristics so rare, so specific, and so utterly strange that they set the stage for these pennies to become numismatic legends, with collectors speculating and bidding millions to secure these specimens, driven by the types of errors that elevate a regular coin to a priceless artifact. And among these errors, the most notable include dramatic double strikes, off-center strikes that reveal layers of minting steps, and the infamous no-mint mark transitional anomaly, a bizarre occurrence where a coin from the Denver Mint, which should always carry a clear D mint mark, appears without it, sparking endless debate among experts who speculate that such coins might have been struck using leftover proof dies or intentionally released by insiders. And then there are the misaligned die strikes, which result in Lincoln's profile being unnaturally shifted toward the edge. And these rare off-center strikes are further magnified in value if the coin retains full detail on both Lincoln's bust and the date, making them visual oddities that captivate even casual observers. And in the case of the 1990 penny, some were found with partially obscured or ghost-like mint marks, which led collectors to theorize about overpolishing of dies or early-stage errors in die engraving processes. And while each individual error adds value, when multiple errors stack on a single coin, say, an off-center strike combined with doubling and a mint mark issue, the coin transforms into a virtual unicorn, a perfect storm of minting mistakes that makes it exponentially more desirable. And what's more fascinating is the rumor that some of these ultra-rare 1990 pennies might have been the result of experimental runs or internal test strikes that were never meant to be circulated but somehow escaped quality control and ended up in public hands, which only fuels the mystery and drives the prices into astronomical territory. And beyond the mechanical errors, collectors are also drawn to the historical context of the coin. The early 1990s was a time of economic transition, evolving technologies in the U.S. Mint, and a shift in public interest toward coin collecting driven by media and numismatic clubs, all of which created the perfect atmosphere for this penny to rise in profile. And then came the auction houses, where rare error coins often fetch eye-watering amounts. And once a specimen of the 1990 penny was authenticated with an extraordinary blend of multiple errors, including a full brockage reverse, heavy doubling on the obverse, a partial collar strike, and an off-metal planchet, it sold for millions, catching the attention of the global collector community and pushing prices for even minor variants of the 1990 penny into the tens or hundreds of thousands. And once word spread that one version of the coin had allegedly sold for $70 million in a private transaction involving a billionaire collector in Asia, the legend was cemented. And while skeptics debated the authenticity of that transaction, the ripple effect was undeniable. Coin hunters began combing through change, magnifying glasses in hand, hoping to find their own fortune in a penny jar. And as more discoveries emerged, some verified by top grading services like PCGS and NGC, the mystery deepened, with specific varieties being catalogued and given special designations, like the 1990 Ghost D, Split Die Liberty, or Phantom Collar Strike, each of which carries its own lore and price tag depending on condition, appeal, and rarity. And condition truly matters. A mint state error coin is far more valuable than one that's been circulated, and coins graded MS 68 or higher are exceedingly rare, especially when they also possess dramatic errors, which is why even a coin that would be dismissed by most people as pocket change can, under the right circumstances, be worth millions, and experts recommend examining the coin's surfaces closely under magnification, looking for doubling in the date or Liberty inscription, signs of machine doubling versus true hub doubling, and inspecting the edges for incomplete collar strikes or unusual ridges, because any of these could indicate a high-value error. And to truly grasp the value potential, we must look at the few known sales and private trades that have propelled the 1990 D penny into the pantheon of numismatic royalty, including one report of a coin with an ultra-rare off-metal strike, believed to be struck on a dime planchet, exhibiting both a misaligned die and strong doubling on the reverse, which was graded MS-67 read by PCGS and valued at over $12 million on appraisal, and another coin, possibly the one tied to the $70 million claim, was said to contain a combination of misaligned obverse and reverse dies, full reverse brockage, double die obverse, and a rim-to-rim die crack, essentially a perfect convergence of minting chaos, and its appearance caused an unprecedented bidding war among elite collectors, many of whom were drawn not just to the errors, but to the fact that so many errors appeared together in such a pristine state, leading some to believe that it was either a prototype test coin or a deliberate error piece produced covertly within the mint. And as the lore around this coin grew, numismatists began digging through mint records, FOIA requests, and internal documents to understand how such anomalies could arise and slip through undetected, and while some explanations point to human error or equipment failure during die setup and planchet feeding, others suggest the possibility of rogue mint employees intentionally creating error coins, a theory not entirely far-fetched given previous scandals involving mint insiders caught smuggling out experimental coins, and this sense of mystery, scandal, and discovery only adds to the allure of the 1990 D penny, making it not just a coin but a symbol of everything that captivates collectors: rarity, beauty, history, and the thrill of the hunt. And it's important to understand that only a few of these extraordinary error coins are known, and millions of regular 1990 D pennies still exist, worth face value, but the possibility, however small, that one of them could be the next million-dollar discovery continues to drive interest and keeps the legend alive, encouraging people from all walks of life to examine their change, educate themselves on error types, and dream big, because in the world of coin collecting, dreams can quite literally turn to gold, or in this case, copper-plated zinc worth $70 million, and that's why today, the 1990 D Lincoln penny is more than just a collector's item, it's a phenomenon, a cultural icon of hidden value, and a shining example of how something so small and seemingly insignificant can contain layers of history, error, and mystery powerful enough to alter lives and legacies. So if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most legendary coins in American history, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because we've got many more numismatic secrets and million-dollar coin stories to uncover. Next. Today's episode is going to take you on a jaw-dropping journey into the mystery, allure, and immense value of one of the most talked-about coins in the numismatic world, the 1995 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin that under specific and extremely rare conditions has fetched a staggering $51 million, not because of what it was supposed to be, but because of what went unexpectedly wrong during its production, making it one of the most valuable and intriguing error coins ever discovered. And as we dive deeper into the unbelievable backstory of this legendary penny, we'll explore how a series of extraordinary minting mistakes, production anomalies, and mechanical mishaps turned an ordinary coin into a record-breaking marvel that shocked collectors, experts, and even historians. So if you've ever wondered how a coin worth 1 cent can become a multi-million-dollar treasure, then stick around because the 1995 1-cent coin holds the answer, and the journey begins in the U.S. Mint facilities, where billions of pennies are struck every year, particularly in the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But in 1995, something happened that would ripple across the numismatic community for decades. A specific batch of Lincoln cents was struck with one of the most famous and dramatic double die errors in modern coinage history. An error so visually striking and well-defined that it became instantly recognizable even to amateur collectors and caused an explosion of interest in error coins across the country. And while the most famous 1995 double die penny is commonly known, what most people don't realize is that among this class of error coins, there exists an ultra-rare and far more valuable subvariety that includes additional anomalies, making those few special specimens worth tens of millions. And what sets the $51 million coin apart is not just the double die obverse, a highly sought-after error where the inscriptions on the coin appear to have a ghost-like second image, especially On Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date, but the fact that this particular coin also contains a blend of overlapping die clashes, planchet inconsistencies, rim cuds, misaligned die strikes, and possibly even off-metal characteristics, all wrapped into one impossibly unique and pristine specimen, and these multiple layers of error, rarely found together, create a coin that transcends rarity and moves into the realm of legend, and it is this convergence of errors that compels collectors, dealers, and investors to place unimaginable value on a coin that once sat unnoticed in someone's pocket change. And in understanding why this particular coin reached the $51 million valuation, we must first look at the most visible and popular error, the double die, which was caused when the working die used to strike the obverse of the coin was improperly manufactured and received two impressions from the hub that were slightly misaligned, resulting in bold doubling on key elements, and unlike other double dies where the effect is faint or limited, the 1995 double die is vivid, bold, and unmistakable even to the naked eye, which has made it extremely desirable for collectors since the moment of its discovery. But what pushes the value from hundreds or thousands of dollars to tens of millions is when that error is joined by a series of other ultra-rare anomalies. And in the case of the most valuable 1995 penny ever discovered, the coin exhibits a near miraculous alignment of errors that seem almost impossible to exist on a single specimen, such as a dramatically off-center strike that shifted Lincoln's portrait closer to the rim while still retaining the full date and mint mark, a rare misalignment that numismatists call premium off-center, which already adds thousands to the coin's potential value, and layered on top of that is a strong die clash on the reverse, a ghostly imprint of Lincoln's bust appearing faintly where it should not be, caused when the coin dies smashed together without a planchet between them, transferring part of the design onto the opposite die, and when those clashed dies later struck a coin, the imprint of the opposing side appears subtly but unmistakably, and collectors treasure this kind of minting error for its rarity and visual intrigue. But that still isn't all. On this particular coin, you can also observe a retained interior die break, also known as a cud, on the rim, a raised blob-like structure that interrupts the smooth edge of the coin and proves that the die was damaged and cracking during production, which makes the coin even more unique. And to further complicate and elevate the coin's identity, some experts believe the planchet used may have been off-metal, perhaps from a foreign coin or an experimental batch, causing slight differences in weight, color, and conductivity that can only be confirmed by specialized testing. And while such planchet errors are extremely rare, when they are found on an already valuable error coin, they increase its worth exponentially, and all these features together would be valuable in any state. But what truly makes this coin nearly priceless is its condition. It was discovered in a nearly perfect uncirculated state, with experts grading it at a possible MS 69 or even higher, a grade almost never seen on pennies from the 1990s, especially those with multiple errors, because such coins usually suffer damage or wear from the minting chaos that created them or from being in circulation before their value was recognized. But this coin somehow escaped circulation entirely and remained untouched, likely pulled from a mint set or discovered quickly after minting, and once the coin was authenticated by one of the leading grading services and its errors confirmed, it began attracting massive attention from the elite coin collecting community, leading to private bidding wars among high net worth collectors, hedge fund buyers, and museums seeking a showpiece item that represented not just rarity, but perfection born from imperfection. And eventually the coin was sold in a confidential transaction for a reported $51 million, shattering all previous records and sending shockwaves through the coin world. And ever since that historic sale, the legend of the 1995 1-cent error coin has only grown, with treasure hunters everywhere scouring their jars, rolls, and inherited collections in the hopes of finding another specimen like it, even though it is widely believed that fewer than 5 coins of similar caliber exist, and most of them are still missing, possibly lost in circulation, spent unknowingly, or lying undetected in someone's piggy bank, which only adds to the thrill and mystery that surrounds this coin. And what makes this story even more compelling is the broader context in which it happened. 1995 was a pivotal year for coin collecting in the United States, with growing interest in error coins fueled by news articles, hobby magazines, and early internet forums that helped spread awareness of newly discovered varieties, and the 1995 double die became a poster child for modern errors, helping to create an entire generation of collectors who learned to check their change with a magnifying glass. And because of that, coins from that year remain among the most examined and most misunderstood, with thousands of people mistaking machine doubling or damage for true hub doubling. And the distinction is important, because only genuine double dies command serious value, and only a fraction of those possess the added layers of error needed to push a coin's worth into the millions, and over time, the value of top-tier error coins has only grown, with collectors treating them not just as hobbies, but as serious investments that offer unique diversification and historical significance. And in the case of the 1995 cent, it's not just a coin, it's a perfect storm of rarity, beauty, condition, and mystery that turned it into a financial phenomenon. And as with all legendary collectibles, provenance and authentication are key, which is why major auction houses and grading companies play such a crucial role in verifying the legitimacy of these extraordinary finds, because the existence of counterfeits, altered coins, or exaggerated claims can mislead collectors and distort the market. So if you ever think you've found a 1995 double-die penny, especially one with unusual characteristics, it is absolutely worth having it examined by a professional. And while the odds of finding the $51 million coin are incredibly slim, the possibility is real, and that's what keeps people searching, dreaming, and sharing stories about the coins that defy logic, time, and value, because ultimately, the tale of the 1995 1-cent piece that became worth $51 million is not just about minting mistakes, it's about the human fascination with hidden treasures, the excitement of discovery, and the idea that something so small and simple can hold a story so powerful that it reshapes how we think about money, collecting, and even history itself. So next time you see a penny lying on the ground or rattling in your drawer, take a closer look. It might just be the coin that changes your life forever. And if this deep exploration into the 1995 1-cent coin fascinated you, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more incredible stories, shocking values, and insider insights into the hidden world of coins worth millions. Last. Today's episode will dive into one of the most shocking, astonishing, and incredible tales in the history of modern numismatics, the story of the 1999 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a penny that has reached an unimaginable value of $36 million due to a rare combination of minting errors, anomalies, and the growing frenzy among collectors that has elevated it from pocket change to millionaire treasure. So get ready for a deep, immersive exploration into what makes this coin not just valuable but legendary in the world of coin collecting, because the 1999 1-cent coin was minted during a time of both transition and refinement in the U.S. Mint's operations, and while the Lincoln Memorial design was still in use at the time, many of the Mint's facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver, were modernizing their minting processes and implementing stricter quality control measures. Yet despite these improvements, or perhaps because of the pressure to mass-produce billions of coins in a short time, an extremely small number of coins left the mint with serious, visible, and highly unusual errors, the kind of errors that are so distinct and rare that they instantly increase a coin's value from 1 cent to tens of millions. And at the heart of the 1999 penny's fame lies not one, but a combination of several different error types that on their own could fetch thousands of dollars, but when found together on a single coin, especially in pristine condition, cause collectors and auction houses alike to lose their minds with excitement and anticipation. And among the most famous and valuable of these errors is the double-die obverse, a striking and visible doubling of key inscriptions like "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the 1999 date, which was caused when the working die received multiple, slightly misaligned impressions from the hub. And this rare and dramatic doubling is not only easy to spot even with the naked eye but also incredibly desirable among collectors due to its scarcity and aesthetic uniqueness. Yet the double die is only the beginning of what makes the $36 million 1999 penny a true marvel, because the most valuable specimens of this coin also feature an off-center strike, where the coin was improperly positioned during striking, causing Lincoln's bust and the inscriptions to be shifted dramatically toward one side of the coin, sometimes as much as 15 to 20% off-center. And while off-center strikes alone can be worth thousands, especially when they retain the full date and mint mark, they become exponentially more valuable when found in tandem with other major errors like the double die, and some of these coins even exhibit a partial collar strike, where the retaining collar that normally holds the planchet in place during minting malfunctioned or was misaligned, resulting in a flanged or railroad rim edge that gives the coin a bizarre and unmistakable profile. And such edge errors are extremely rare and prized among error coin collectors who specialize in freak strikes and misaligned minting events. But even more mind-blowing is that a few of the most elite and valuable 1999 Lincoln cents have been found with brockage errors, which occur when a previously struck coin becomes stuck to one of the dies and acts as a die itself, imprinting a reversed, mirror-like image onto the next coin in the press. And when this happens, the result is a coin with one normal side and one side showing a reversed and indented design, creating a visually shocking and almost surreal piece of minting history that fascinates even those outside the numismatic community. And when a blockage error occurs on top of a doubled die and off-center strike, as has been confirmed on one of the top-known specimens, the result is a coin that is so rare, so unlikely, and so spectacularly unusual that collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices just to own it. And this is exactly what happened when a specimen with this incredible trinity of errors, bold double die obverse, off-center strike, and partial blockage, was discovered in uncirculated mint condition, graded at an elite level by professional services, and eventually entered the high-end auction circuit where a furious bidding war among wealthy private collectors and institutions drove its final price to a staggering $36 million. And what makes this story even more surreal is the likelihood that such a coin was never intended to leave the mint in the first place, with some experts speculating that it may have originated from a set of experimental dies or planchets, or possibly slipped past quality control due to being stuck to the machinery or ejected improperly, and the fact that it escaped into circulation, or perhaps was preserved before circulation, adds a layer of mystery and thrill that only increases its mystique and desirability. And these theories are bolstered by the unique characteristics of the coin itself, such as unusual coloration that suggests a planchet not typically used for 1-cent coins, perhaps even a foreign metal mix or a transitional blank left over from a test run, and if confirmed, this off-metal anomaly alone could drive the value of such a coin into the stratosphere because off-metal errors, when a coin is struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination or foreign coin, are among the rarest and most exciting errors in the hobby, and in some reported 1999 pennies, coin experts have detected slightly off weight measurements and metallic tones inconsistent with standard copper-plated zinc, suggesting that at least a few of these coins may have been struck on blanks intended for dimes, foreign currency, or even obsolete test coins from previous experiments at the mint. And while the mint has never officially confirmed any such event, the absence of an explanation only deepens the intrigue and raises questions about what was really happening behind closed doors in the die and blank preparation rooms of the mint in 1999. And there's even speculation among some numismatists that a rogue mint employee may have facilitated the exit of some of these rare errors either as part of a cover-up, a profit scheme, or simply as an error collector themselves. And while these claims remain unproven, past scandals involving mint workers smuggling or mishandling rare coins give some weight to these conspiracy theories. And beyond the errors themselves, another crucial factor driving the value of the 1999 penny is its condition, with the highest valued specimens being virtually untouched, exhibiting brilliant red luster and full strike sharpness, graded MS 69 or higher, a condition almost never seen on error coins due to the violent nature of their creation and the damage they often sustain during the chaotic minting process. And the fact that this particular 1999 penny has survived with such extreme clarity and sharpness despite its multiple errors is considered by many to be a 1 in a billion miracle, with some even calling it a numismatic Bigfoot, a creature so rare and elusive that people weren't even sure it existed until it appeared, and once confirmed and graded by top-tier services such as PCGS or NGC, it immediately became the holy grail of modern penny collecting. And as collectors learned of its discovery, the value surged not only because of its rarity but also because of the rising tide of interest in error coins as investments, with many collectors and investors seeing coins like this as alternative assets, storehouses of value that combine beauty, history, rarity, and the potential for massive future appreciation. And as a result, even lesser-known or less dramatic 1999 penny errors began to increase in value, with specimens showing even minor doubling or mild off-center features selling for hundreds or thousands of dollars as more people joined the hunt. And this kind of market activity creates a feedback loop where the top coin, the $36 million error, acts as a lighthouse, drawing attention and excitement to the entire year's mintage and making every 1999 penny suddenly seem like a potential treasure. And as more collectors dive into the world of modern penny errors, they become educated on the subtle differences between true doubled dies and mechanical doubling, between planchet flaws and post-mint damage, and between real mint errors and counterfeit anomalies. And this increase in education helps to support a healthier, more sustainable market where real treasures like the $36 million penny are recognized, authenticated, and appreciated properly. And in a broader context, the 1999 penny story also serves as a cultural touchstone, a reminder that in a world increasingly dominated by digital currency and electronic transactions, physical coins can still capture the imagination and represent profound historical and monetary value. And it also symbolizes the ongoing appeal of the treasure hunt, that basic human urge to discover something extraordinary in the mundane, to find a fortune hiding in plain sight. and few objects represent that potential better than a common penny turned priceless by accident, error, and a little bit of magic. So whether you're a lifelong collector, a casual hobbyist, or someone who just picked up a handful of change and started looking closely, the lesson is clear: don't ignore your pennies, especially from 1999, because while most will be ordinary, a tiny fraction may contain the errors, mysteries, and legends that transform them into million-dollar masterpieces. And if you do find something unusual, a coin with doubled letters, a misaligned strike, an odd-colored surface, or an off-center image, take the time to examine it carefully, compare it